So, as you can see, I'm sunburned again because I've been on the road talking to people for the last 4 days. I will have the footage up shortly. Yes, it is true my main channel has been demonetized. However, this channel is still monetized, so I better make some content if I want to be able to pay the bills. But also, I couldn't let this go. This is just the most incredible thing. Like, I'm absolutely knackered. It's nearly 11 o'clock. I really should be going to bed. But my wife sent me this because she was like, you have to read this. You will not believe just the way that this woman talks in this column. It's just, I mean, bear in mind, someone got paid money to make this, and I'm not surprised in any way, shape, or form that the Guardian have to have a constant, hey, give us money to support us on the side, because this is just, I just can't get over the mindset. Like, why would you make this public, right? I don't watch Game of Thrones, which makes me a lot more interesting than you. So it starts with an I'm better than you because of something that I like. My personal preference makes me morally better than you, more interesting, more decent. In fact, you should pay attention to me and not Game of Thrones. That's what this person is saying, right? Because whenever too many people like something, it's obvious there's something wrong with it, right? And it's just like, I just can't stand the way she's going on about this. Hell is other people talking about Game of Thrones, and hell I have discovered to my mountain horror is impossible to escape. Thrones fever has gripped the world, and now people won't stop going on about the bloody show. No, it's crashing and burning. Like, literally. The damn thing is that it's... Apparently there was some personality conflict between George R.R. Martin and the people who are currently writing it, and for some reason, he had to go instead of them. Which is pretty baffling, isn't it? You'd think that since he's the one who made it what it was, anyone else would get fired instead of him, but no, apparently he had to go. Apparently now it's being written by two dumbasses who literally do not understand how to write anything. But anyway, how they can't believe that their favourite elf just got beheaded after an incestuous tryst with a one-armed witch, or how some dragon queen or other has suddenly shown her nasty side, the fanaticism is bewildering. Honestly, you'd think you'd just at least do some basic research if you're going to write anything about something. You literally obviously have not watched a single episode. You are just whining on a blog called The Guardian. That's what this is, right? Admittedly, this may have something to do with the fact that I've never watched the show. There we go. People are constantly telling me to give it a go. There are only 962 hours of densely plotted goblin porn to catch up on. Again, like, I know you don't watch Game of Thrones. It doesn't interest you. And I absolutely loathe it at this point. I used to like it, but I absolutely loathe this season. And the previous season was awful too. But this season is just the worst. It's almost like it's almost like a deliberate attempt at sabotage, frankly, as far as I can see. But anyway, there's no need to talk like this. This is just like... There is actually cultural weight to this, and it means something that so many people watch it, and it means something that they take away the different parts of it that they're actually interested in. So being dismissive of this is just petty. But anyway... The fact that I've never seen Game of Thrones, which is now in its 8th season, has become an integral part of my personality. Whenever I meet new people, I make sure they know this is very important. Detail about me. I announce it to strangers on the internet. Right, so you're having your life dictated by something you don't like. Why? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just say, yeah, no, I don't watch it. And then but talk about whatever, the football? Whatever it is you want. I have it proudly listed on my LinkedIn. And I drop the fact that I don't watch the overrated Dragon Show into conversation at every conceivable opportunity. Is it even when we're not talking about Game of Thrones with you? I mean, your parties sound awesome. You see, Game of Thrones is not just a television program. It's an extremely popular thing, and there is no better way to prove that you're a very interesting, very intelligent person than with by expressing your disdain for extremely popular things. Yes, you are trying to be the cool kid. That's what you're saying. I mean, this is like a parody. Honestly, I mean, if this is in the opinion section, which means it's probably parody at the best of times, but this is actually like an Onion article about a Guardian writer. But as far as I can tell, this is not meant to be a parody. Now, if I've somehow missed this because I've been traveling and I'm tired and, and my wife didn't notice it either, and so, let me know if I have somehow missed this, because this is just... It's unreal. It's like, what's wrong with the Guardian writers? whenever too many people like something, it's obviously something wrong with it. To be clear, I'm not saying people shouldn't enjoy their extremely popular things, not at all. I don't begrudge anyone a little joy. I just think it's important that Game of Thrones fanatics realise that their joy is mainstream at best and problematic at worst. We already know it's going to be problematic because you could make anything problematic, even things you haven't seen and obviously know nothing about. Where are all the working class dragons in Westeros? How will you know? How will you know where they are, since you've never seen it? How do you know that Westeros isn't being overrun by working class dragons? I mean, these dragons don't seem to have had an opulent, luxurious, university-educating upbringing to me. They look like they've suffered. But hey, what would I know? I've just fucking watched it all. I also think they should realise that it would be a lot more inclusive of them if they could just like the things I liked so I could join in the conversation. What? What are you saying that people that you know who like Game of Thrones aren't being considerate enough of the things you want to talk about because they want to talk about Game of Thrones? Your friends. You know, when you say people, what you mean is your friend group, your circle. You're not talking about people at large having to like the things you like so you could join in conversation. This is you at a dinner party and everyone's talking about Game of Thrones and you're like, oh, well, I think I'm more interested because I don't watch it, actually. And you got paid for this and The Guardian published it. If they could just, it would be more inclusive of them to like the things I like. Amazing. Amazing. Just, why do you exist? Could you do any other job than just tell us how you feel on the internet? Just out of interest. I've got to admit, it took me a while to sum up the courage to write this column. Well, because it makes you sound like a prat. Is that the reason? You would be amazed at the amount of hate you can get online for simply telling people that the thing they love is stupid. You don't know if it's stupid. You've never seen it. What you are is not really interested in fantasy as a genre, which is fine, but a lot of people happen to be interested in this particular series. Is it because it is the fantasy genre, or is there something, or was there something about this series that got them invested? Maybe if you gave it a try, you'd find it isn't just all goblins and wizards. It's actually quite, well, it's actually on the name it's on the tin. It's Game of Thrones. It's high politics, or at least it was, while George R.R. Martin was writing it. Indeed, you don't even need to be that direct. The moment you so much as mention that you haven't seen a Game of Thrones, a Game of the Thrones, sorry, fans get on their high horse and inform you. Hating popular things isn't a personality trait. That's not what they say, is it? Obsessing about the sex lives of bloodthirsty wizards, on the other hand, obviously is. You're resentful because your friends like something you don't like that thing in principle. Look, don't whine. I mean, well, I suppose if you're getting paid for it in The Guardian, bloody carry on. Honestly, the Guardian opinion section is just the most pointless thing in the world, but, like, what kind of attitude does this person have? That's the thing. I'm just like, I would never be friends with someone like this person in real life. You know, I'd be like, right, okay, that was a nice chat we had about how you define yourself by your hatred of Game of Thrones, and you think that everyone else should like the things you like to be inclusive. But I'm actually okay with being exclusive when it comes to the things that I like and the things I don't like. And if you don't like those things, that's fine. Why is a mainstream paper putting this in and giving this column inches? Like, there is just something wrong with the media class of our country. I swear to God.